Hey guys, if you've ever learnt a great lick but when you solo on Autumn Leaves, Pent Up House or Ladybird it just disappears, it's not a memory problem, it's the chord changes problem. In this lesson I'm going to give you one simple 2-5-1 jazz lick and show you where it fits on those three standards: Autumn Leaves, Pent Up House and Ladybird. We'll look at the lead sheets on the screen and I'll play you some MIDI examples so you know how to plug and play these licks without noodling or guessing anymore. Okay, here we go with the lick itself and then we'll put it straight into Autumn Leaves. So you're on a jam session, or you've taken your real book to a jam session, or maybe you've got a little gig and this is what you're looking at, just chord changes. Okay, so the first thing to recognize is a 2-5-1. What is a 2-5-1? So we've got the D minor 7 to the G7 to the C major 7. I'm not going to go into the theory of that in this video, but you need to recognize when there is a 2-5-1. Chord 2 in the key of C, chord 5 in the key of C, chord 1 in the key of C. Now today we're just focusing on the major lick. Okay, and here's the lick. Let's have a quick listen to it. Okay, it's got a few elements in there. I would say this is certainly like a Clark Terry-ism. Here is more like Clifford Brown, Lee Morgan, and then here could be any of those guys, but sort of Chet Baker-ish. Let's listen to it again. There's the D minor 7, just outlining the changes from the 7th to the 3rd, and then we've got that sort of diminished bebop flat 9. And then down to the 3rd, up through the chord changes to the 9th, and resolving. And that's how you would practice it every time. You just go through the standard and plug it in over and over again. Many years ago, I had a jazz lesson, and the teacher there said it's better to have a good copy than a bad original. So it's always good to have a few ideas or some licks in your back pocket, just in case creativity doesn't strike you on the bandstand. Again, at the end, we'll talk about how you can use this language to create your own licks. So obviously in Autumn Leaves, it's only in that one key. Let's look at another tune now, Pent Up House, where it's in 3 keys. Okay, so this is what Pent Up House looks like. And again, 2-5-1 in the key of A, 2-5-1 in the key of A. We've got a 2 and a 5, that's a 2-5 in the key of D, and then we've got a 2 and a 5, that's a 2-5 in the key of C, and then we're back to the home key, 2-5-1 in the key of A. This is why we're always told to learn everything in all the keys, because many jazz standards change key or key center throughout the form of the standard. Okay then, and here it is with the lick, the same lick. Okay, sorry about the MIDI sound, guys, but it cuts the production down so much easier and I could just focus purely on the teaching. Okay, let's have a listen. And then I just changed the last bit there. And then here, instead of dropping down the octave, I went up. But it's essentially the same notes. Here we go. Okay, you can hear the same lick. Of course, this is just for practice purposes. You would never play a solo like that. This is just giving you some authentic jazz language or vocabulary to practice and get to know your instrument even more, develop that ear-finger coordination. So you would be able to la da da do do be da do 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 da da do do be do dee. You'll be able to do that playing, singing and playing what you hear. That rather than just noodling and not having a clue what you're doing. We've all heard lots of players do that. We don't want to be one of those players. We want to be one of those players that sounds like our hero. You know, maybe Chet Baker, Blue Mitchell, Clifford Brown. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay, again, I'll talk a little bit more about the language at the end. Here we go now with different key centers, and this is Tad Dameron's Ladybird. So here it starts in the key of D, but straight away, bar 3 and 4, we've got a 2-5 in the key of F, and then it resolves back to the D. Now, this is very important, but why I'm going to talk about what I'm going to talk about at the end about targeting, really targeting the chord notes, the key changes, because obviously you can't play F, you can't play 2-5-1 because it's not the one chord. It goes back to the one in the key of D, not in F. Okay, so sometimes you might just get a bunch of 2-5s that never hit the one. Okay, so this is why I've included this one. So look, we've got in the key of D, then we're in the key of F, 2-5, back to D, then we're in the key of B flat. This one does do the 1, 2-5-1, okay, and then we've got 2-5 in the key of A, which we just did in Pent Up House, 2-5 in the key of D, again, which we just did in Pent Up House. And here it is with the licks inserted. Let's have a quick listen. So that's a classic example there of what I was talking about. I've hitting a target note or a chord note that fits that chord. And I've hit the F and then gone down to the third. So super helpful there, guys. Learn the lick, learn it in the key that you need to use it, whatever jazz standard you're practicing, and just practice it over and over and over again. But remember, don't just do that one lick. You maybe practice 5, 10 different jazz licks, and you could use Chet Baker, Blue Mitchell, Clifford Brown, whoever your favourite player is, whoever you most want to emulate. And make sure you really listen to the way they phrase it, articulate it, and their timing. So if you're like me and you've got a terrible memory for licks, then a great way to practice jazz improvisation is by targeting the chord notes. Let's have a quick look at that. So something I like to do is target chord notes, using the target chord notes, and then use bebop vocabulary to connect those chord notes. So for example, if I start on the third here and do a broken chord, chromatic enclosure, this is a Blue Mitchell type, and then down the bebop scale, chromatic enclosure, okay, and then let's fill up, okay, so I'm hit the third there, hit the root there, hit the third there, hit the root there, hit the third there, hit the root. And all I'm using is broken chords, chromatic enclosures, scale fragments, and the bebop scale. Let's try another one. Very much in the vein of Clark Terry. Okay, just using the chord notes, chromatic enclosure, hit the third up to the flat 9, chromatic enclosure to the third, just a bebop, booba-da-dee, chromatic enclosure, booba-da-dee-doo-dee, doo-ba-da-dee-dee-da, and using simple things like let's do another one, 2-note enclosures, like more like Clifford Brown. Okay, just simple 2-note enclosures all the way up, diatonically from above, chromatically from below, chromatic enclosure to the tonic, chromatic enclosure to the third, and then again enclosures. Lots of chord notes, lots of enclosures, lots of chromatic enclosures, broken chords, and scale fragments. That is what many bebop licks, if you like, or phrases are made up of. If you go and check out Blue Mitchell or Clifford Brown phrases, you're going to see they are full of that jazz vocabulary, and they're targeting the chord notes, okay? This is how I learned it. This is what made me practice it this way. I just noticed that's what they were doing. They very rarely repeat themselves, but you keep seeing and hearing the same language, but not the same licks. Okay, so use the language not the licks. After you've learnt a bunch of licks, you've got to learn to walk before you can run, I suppose. So anyway, guys, hope this has helped. Make sure you subscribe. Check out the description to some other resources that might really help you and you'll find useful. Okay, bye for now.